I have to sneeze. I must be allergic to bad hockey teams. Welcome in to the DNVR Avalanche pregame show as the Avs are taking on the Chicago Blackhawks. Um, the Blackhawks are bad. They are in a portion of the season where they're already eliminated, so it's not like there's really any pressure. You talk about some of those teams playing a little bit freer sometimes when they get to that portion of the season. The Blackhawks have been scoring more of late. They've also been giving up a lot more goals. So, not really sure I'm expecting a quality hockey game tonight, but it could very well be high scoring.
Yeah, that's the type of teams, you know what I mean? Like you really are not playing for anything. So you might be willing to make a play at the blue line, right? And if you make a BLT, who cares? You know, it doesn't matter. Somebody will pick it up and then go score the other way. And it's like, oh, I messed up, right? So that's the slippery thing when you play those types of teams that are out of it. And some guys have some nice skills. I mean, Connor Bedard's a good hockey player, right? I mean, maybe the face of the league coming up here the next few seasons with Ovechkin and Crosby and leaving, so to speak. You know, what I mean, giving the baton to the Celebrinis, Bedards, and guys like that. So obviously, he's a good player. Guys like Donato's had a lot of success this year. You're talking about 30 butts, right? You know, he's got one more goal than Nathan MacKinnon. So, they can score. So I think if you just take the game away from them, don't let them feel good about themselves. Just give it to them right away so they can go with that sense on the bench. Not necessarily out loud, but in their heads. Here we go again. Here we go again, right? You know, what I mean, because they've had a lot of losses this year. So, that's the mindset you want to take tonight. You want to not let them hang around. You don't want to, flip this game. You want to just go at them, and you don't want to leave it for a bad bounce or a bad call, and then you walk away with 1 point or no points. You know what I mean? So I think it's important the Avalanche have that killer instinct tonight, and I think they will.
The carousel of guys coming in and out of the Avs lineup continues. Kivy back in tonight for the forward side. Sam Girard slots back out for the defensive side. How much of this are legitimate injuries the Avs are dealing with, and how much of this is player management? Like, I'm sure someone like a Sam Girard could play today if it was the playoffs and he absolutely
Yeah.
had to, but obviously the Avs chose to keep him out.
Yeah. And I do believe that, the cat coming back is meow, Kivy the cat. I do believe he's a good fit on that line. He's a good fit. He's had a incredible season. 16 goals. Who knows? You might even hit 20. We don't, you never know. This guy scored a hat trick one game, and he usually goes and scores in bunches, right? He disappears for a month, and then he scores 4 and 4. So, it's been a good year, and he's a trusted player by Jared Bednar and company. So it's a big get back in the lineup. You know what I mean? Because I think they missed him a little bit for those few games. He does bring that stability. You pair him with Charlie Coyle. He has been good. You know that you're going to get some safe hockey. And then, obviously, 16 butts. He can put the puck in the net. And I think Sammy probably nagging something, right? A little something, something.
Yeah.
I think Bednar was very vague about it. You know what I mean? So it doesn't matter. That's why you have other guys. And Keaton was good when he played. He was more than fine. And again, if you're scared of the Chicago Blackhawks, no offense to the Blackhawks, but it's one of the worst teams in the National Hockey League. So I think you should feel pretty confident to put guys in the lineup and for guys to go and do their jobs and make the Avalanche a healthy, not a healthy, but a lineup where it can actually go win a game.
The other thing in the lineup, which is not a change, it's the same, in Scott Wedgwood getting the start again tonight. If it was just that, I probably wouldn't have thought too much of it. But for whatever reason, if they wanted Blackwood to go against Columbus, fine. But the Avs also called up Kevin Mandolisi on the backside of this, which makes me wonder a little bit. I know we'll hear from Bednar's take of it in a little bit here, but feeling a little weird about the Blackwood situation. Doesn't play for 2 straight games, was injured a couple weeks ago. Now you're calling up a guy. He's backing up tonight, so if he has to play, he could, but it just feels a little weirdy.
Yeah, I agree with you. I remember we talked about it. I was not shocked. I was surprised to see Wedgwood against Calgary. I said it right there. I was like, oh, wow, that's, again, there's two things, right? Number one, he's nagging something, right? I mean, obviously with the
Yep.
call up of Mandalise, that makes you think a little bit. Is there something there? That's one. Or are you managing the 3 and 4? For even
Maybe.
McKenzie to play tomorrow. But then again, you have a day off, and you would think McKenzie would play again, against St. Louis Saturday, right? So it's
Would
three
think.
and four. There's a back to back. I felt like it would have been Blackwood last game, Wedgwood tonight, Blackwood tomorrow night in Columbus. But it went kind of the opposite. Again, it tells you that maybe there is something that's bothering him a little bit, or they really had planned it and they really wanted him to work on his game with UC Parkila, and something that was bothering him a little bit about his play. And again, I'm talking about you don't getting a lot of practice time, you know what I mean? So, but sometimes on a morning skate, you get a little bit of more time to work on your game if you're not playing, you know what I mean? So, did they want to use that today to get him ready for tomorrow? I don't know. Again, maybe he'll elaborate more on it tonight. I don't know. You know what I mean? But he didn't really elaborate. He just kind of said Wedgwood's playing, and he did kind of say, I think, Mackenzie's playing tomorrow. Again, that was before they called up Mandalise, so I don't know. But hey, hello, Mandalise. He's from my hometown. There you go.
I mean, whatever. Maybe they're just trying to get to that 50 players played number real bad. Maybe that's the plan.
I don't know, man. That's what I'm saying. Who knows? I mean, hopefully can't be that bad if he's backing up, right? So if there is anything to it. So I don't know.
Yeah, who knows? Who knows?
We'll see.
Anyway, it just an interesting situation on that front.
For sure.
When it comes to the Avs, and this might be drifted into your three keys, I'm not sure.
It's okay.
Obviously, the intensity levels, the maybe the effort levels for the Avs were not super high against that Calgary team the other night. And you're now going into a Chicago team, which also has nothing to really play for right now. Is there a concern that the Avs might phone it in tonight?
All right, here's what I'm going to say. So if the Avalanche, for me, the last 2 games at home would have been full throttle, right? You know what I mean? Like the St. Louis game and the Calgary game. I would say, you know what? I hate to use that expression, but look out, Rudo, tonight. It might be a trap game. You know what I mean? I think the Avalanche are going to go in there a little cocky and feeling good. I mean, they've
knowing
won
the way the last
14
2 games
15.
went, though.
That's my point. So now I'm going to say the Avalanche are going to respond tonight because I think you saw it in Bednar's face with all the reasons. I wasn't happy either. I didn't like the emotional investment by the team in there. But do I understand it? Yes, because it's those games. You have to play those games. Like you said, 2022, right before. There was like 6, 7 games. Oh, my God. Because they couldn't really go up or down in the standings. And it's kind of the same thing here. You're probably looking at third place. You're going on the road against Dallas. And that's kind of what it is, right? If you're a betting man, that's what we'd be betting. So I think for some reasons, you just kind of, you go into and they feel good about their game because they just went on a 12-game stretch where they're the best team in the National Hockey League. Yeah. I don't want to hear like, oh, St. Louis was 10-0. No, great. Listen, the most dangerous team is the Colorado Avalanche. What they made after the trade deadline. So I would tell you that I would have felt a little bit differently tonight if they would have had a full 60-minute effort, not to take away from St. Louis and Jim Montgomery. And, those guys, you know what? They won the game. They were the better team. So the Avalanche were not the better team the last 2 games. They weren't. You know what I mean? Like, Calgary was not great, but overall, they went to bed in the third period. And I hate that shootout. You know that. Like, so I'm not. But they still, for me, it feels like a loss because you lost the third period, right? And then that led the other team to get a precious point to keep their seasons alive. So their season alive. Sorry, not plural. But tonight, I do believe the Avalanche will respond. I do believe Bednar was not happy with the way the team played as a whole. And I think that if you look at it tonight, I think they know that now they're mini, goals, right, for the team. This is a 3 and 4 on the road, right? This is kind of our last, forget about the last couple games of the season on the road, but this is our last little, mini road trip of 3 games and 4 nights, and you want to start the right foot. You know what I mean? And I think it's
For sure.
important. And I think you're going to see the real Avalanche tonight, not the Avalanche that you saw those last, like, whatever, sporadic 120 minutes that we saw.
Yeah. A little consistency would be nice. E,
That's right.
you're a Matt Schaefer guy, right? He's your guy, not
The
Hagen's
defenseman, the
for first overall
no,
this
yeah,
year.
yeah, yeah. Well, Higgins, I don't mind. I've seen him too many times this year at BC. I think, you know why I'm not. I think Higgins is gonna have a great career. That's not what I'm saying, but he was so hyped about. Oh, he's like celebrating the year before. I saw MacKinnon every
I
game
don't
last
think.
year. That's
Yeah,
it's not that in my book. It's not that. You know what I mean? So that doesn't mean the guy's a bad player. Now I do like that Schaefer kid, right? You know what I mean, the defenseman, because again, how do you not fall in love with Lane Hudson? I'm not comparing him to Lane Hudson, but I'm saying, hey, you got to love those offensive defensemen, right? So I love them.
I I'm just throwing it out there because Chicago is only 1 point ahead of San Jose. They're you always talk about it, the players are trying to win, of course, but their front
Yeah,
office
yeah,
interests may be trying to lose out the season to get that
yeah,
better shot at a number one overall pick,
yeah,
um, and shows in Chicago's lineup, right? They have I think it's 5 rookies in the lineup tonight, alongside
yeah.
a very young core of players, guys like Korchinski and things like that. So
But if you have more tonight, that's to your point. Like Moore is playing his what second NHL game, like he's going on the breakaway.
yeah,
He's gonna be like, "Oh no, I don't want to score because I want us to get the first pick." No, guys want to score because they want to
of
win,
course
right? You know
not.
what I mean?
Yeah,
They really
yeah.
don't. Players don't care about picks, but you know what I mean. It's funny. They want to make their best foot forward. They want to make sure that they're shown because this is their audition for next year, right? You know what I mean? So this is kind of how it works for all those guys coming in. So yeah, I expect a dogfight. I don't expect any gifts from the Chicago Blackhawks, but you cannot look at that lineup and say, "Oh, there's a lot of experience in there." There's not. There's not a lot of experience.
Just to throw some of the names at you, on the defensive side, Sam Renzel, Levshinov, Del Maestro, and then Korchinski. So defense is full of young kids. You
That's
mentioned
it.
more on the forward side. They also have Nazer, who's obviously a little bit more experienced, has played the majority of the season with Chicago, but still technically a rookie. And then
Yep.
Landon Slaggert as well on the forward side. So that is a team with more dudes with less than a season of experience than dudes with a season of experience right now. That's
Yep.
how crazy it is in Chicago at the moment. Frankly, that's a team you have to take advantage of if you're Colorado. It
Yep.
it really should not be a particularly close game if Colorado plays to their ability. As you were talking about, given their last 2 games, I think expectations are the Avs should show up and run this team out of the building instead of taking another night off. But you have 3 keys on how they can stay focused, keep this one in the W column. What do you got for us?
Yeah, and when you're playing against young guys too, right? And young and dumb, right? You know what I mean? So you don't want to show them anything, right? You want to show them what you're all about. So key number one, very simple, killer instinct. There's no cruise control tonight. You play for each other. You put teams away, and again, that's why you put a team away like the Blackhawks, because they are young, they are innocent, and they don't really know how to play in the National Hockey League. So don't give them any reason to show their skills. Show them reasons to be nervous and be on their heels and really confused on their reads in the defensive zone. That's kind of how you want to attack this game. And, at the end of the day, let them be in awe of you, and then sign a stick for them after the game. Give it to them. There you go. Key number two, habits back on track. You and I talked about it at the game the other day. I mean, every second counts. Make smart choices. You have to have 100% commitment, 100% buy-in by everyone that
Yep.
you are back on track with your habits. I mean, the Avalanche lost the last 2 games a lot because of that, right? Because their habits were a little bit loose, a little bit like poor at times. So I think it's important, that if the Blackhawks have bad habits tonight, then so be it, right? They're not going anywhere. The guys are going to World Championships at the end of the year, the losers tournament, right? So at the end of the day, guys are not, but the Avalanche are. So very important to be 100% committed. Number three, I wrote the word creation. Why? Because you got to create offense. You got to score more goals. I mean, you got to get back to what made you go on a 6-0 run at home, right? You don't want to just score 2 goals, 1 goal. We all know that's not enough. Create a buzz. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Obviously, 1, 2, 1, 2, because the top two lines are going to play more than the fourth line. But very important to create and manufacture passion and energy if there isn't any in that building. If there isn't any on the bench, because you're playing an opponent that's really not going anywhere in the playoffs. There's no rivalry with that team this year. So you might have to create, and pretend that this is a playoff game for you. So again, I'm not sure, but I'm sure they had some tricks up their sleeves. And hey, we're down 2-0 in the series, right? 0-2, right? We've lost our last two games. This is a crucial game to win. You want to get back, into the thick of things, and so be it. So you got to invent some stuff. So if you can create that tonight, get that buzz back, then Avalanche should be getting out on top and win that game easily.
The Avs have had a pretty good stretch of schedule here. These two don't feel great. We have what was supposed to be a 7:30 Mountain start, now looking a lot more like an 8 Mountain start, as there's 8 minutes left in this Carolina-Washington game because the Avs are on national after them tonight.
Yeah.
And then they have a 5:30 turnaround on the Sega Baba. That's rough, man. Like, obviously, get through it. Nothing new to the Avs. They've experienced this before, but boy, it just feels like that's a tough back-to-back at this point in the season.
It is. And if you had to pick, it would be so much easier to be like, oh man, I wish it was flip-flop. You play Columbus tonight. Why? Because Columbus is fighting for their lives. Montreal scores last night, 4 seconds to go, win in overtime. Now, Columbus is 2 points behind. Game in hand is a logjam there, right? I mean, it's crazy. There's only so many games left, right? I'm not too sure what Columbus is at. They got, 7 games left, I believe. I don't remember. It's not in front of me, but so that game tomorrow, is so important for Columbus. They'll come out swinging. So you wish it could have been tonight instead, and then take on the Blackhawks that are really not going anywhere on a back-to-back. But the schedule is not that way. So tonight, you got to make sure you worry about tonight, and you do worry about getting those 2 points. It's getting a little heated there in Carolina. Against them. Oh, my God. They want a piece of each other. Right? Probably the last time they see each other, right, before the playoffs, or if they're going to see each other. But this is crazy a little bit. So anyway, I think the Avalanche take care of business tonight. Get on that bird, get a short night of sleep, and go at it tomorrow again. Then you'll have the day off, obviously Friday, and then you play again against this hot St. Louis Blues Saturday. So this is not an easy 3-4 for the Avalanche. This is a good little test for them, especially after being challenged a little bit the last 2 games where the effort wasn't the greatest. So you want to make sure that they get some results and break it down into small little goals, and let's see what they got.
All righty. Let's talk about a couple of chases on the season. As you can see, the Avs last 10 games here. If you get back into the win column tonight, you're over 500 in your last 10 of the season. You feel okay. Obviously, again, the Avs are in a portion of the season where the results, at least as far as the standings are concerned, don't matter. But you do want to see them play well and feel good going into the playoffs. And getting guys feeling good might be the story. We're watching the Washington game. Ovi's in the penalty box right now, but he did score a goal tonight. So, what's most likely to happen in the last handful of games of the season? Ovi gets the record, Cale hits 30, or Kivy gets 20.
Whoa, that'd be great. I mean, that'd be awesome. I think Ovi gets it, as you know. Now you're pulling for him. I think it's exciting, and everybody's traveling, and everybody's like going into it. You know what I mean? Like the following, and it's awesome. Like, I think Commissioner's at the game tonight. I think Wayne is. I'm not sure if Wayne's there, but he's going to start traveling, obviously, or going to the game. I mean, this guy can pot 3 in a period. So, if Cale. If Cale gets 30, I think it's awesome. We haven't seen that in so long, right, in the National Hockey League, and I do believe he gets it. He's got that shooting mentality lately, so let's keep shooting. You know what I mean? Let's keep getting that mentality, and we'll see what happens. And then, the Cat. If the Cat can get to 20, boy, oh boy, am I going to be pumped. You know what I mean? I think Lane was talking about that a little bit on chat earlier. Like, this is crazy. He was an afterthought last year. You know what I mean? Like, he really a guy that came in with no contract and went to Loveland and, gained the contract and gained the trust of the coaching staff. And now he's becoming to be, again, you're talking about playoff positioning for for jockeying for where they're going to play, who's going to play, who's going to be out of the lineup, he's clearly in the lineup. There's no question about it. And we just talked about it like 20 minutes ago that he was missed the last couple of games. You know what I mean? The cat is back. Meow. I love it. I love it. Kitty the cat. It's great. Is he playing himself out of a too rich of a contract with the Avalanche? I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, but
maybe,
he's
honestly, probably. But
I mean, when you're talking about ceiling and floors, like this guy has played to a ceiling, obviously, and it just shows you when you have the trust of a coaching staff, it's kind of fun and nice, and it's just if somebody tells you what to do, you just go ahead and do it, and you get rewarded for it. So there you go, more power to him. He gets 20. I'm going to be pumped.
There's a couple of other.
Never would have seen that one coming.
We haven't really talked about these ones. One, Martin Necas only needs 4 goals to hit 30 on the season.
Yep.
So he, obviously a lot of those came in Carolina, but that would be his first ever 30-goal season. He had 28 one year in Carolina. And then Artturi Lehkonen only needs 3 goals to hit 30 as well, which would obviously be a career high for him. Obviously, he's gotten cold of late, but another guy to keep an eye on some Avs, hitting a few milestones. It might feel good. This team can hit some of those markers and go into the playoffs on those highs. I don't know. Maybe I'm overthinking it, but
no, it's fun. Hey, it's fun. Are you kidding me? You know what I mean? And I don't think, for example, I don't think Kibby starts the season and says, I'm going to score 20. You know what I mean? I think as the season goes along, he probably gets challenged by the coaching staff and say, hey, maybe you can get 20. You know what I mean? Then you start believing. I don't think Cale starts the season and says, I'm scoring 30 this year. You know what I mean? I think it just evolves. And then when you have the talent like Cale and when you control the game like he does, yeah, I mean, it would be logical if you take someone and say, hey, who do you think is going to score 30 this year in the National Hockey League as a D? Then I'm sure a lot of people would have said Cale Makar, right? I mean, because he impacts the game. He's on the ice 25 minutes, 28 minutes, 30 minutes a night, and he's so good. So, yeah, that'd be exciting to see that. We're pulling for him. I do believe he's got the Norris locked up. That's me. Calder will be Lane Hudson, but Barry Terriers, not a big deal. But I'm just saying, I think it'll be fun to see Cale down the stretch here, and I think it'll be fun to see the whole team tonight. Get back on track. How do you respond when you're facing a little bit of adversity? They haven't really faced a lot of adversity in these last 14 games or so. You know what I mean? Like they responded, they punched back. You know what I mean? It was like. But now it's like, okay, you've lost 2. Again, even though you didn't lose the last one, I hate it because I don't like shootouts. It's so stupid. But, you didn't get 4 points. How's that? You got 1 point out of 4. So, you're in the negative there. So you owe to the team, to the staff, to everybody to get back on track tonight and to really feel good about the start of your. This could be a long. It seems to be another brawl going on right now with Carolina.
Well, don't worry. I've got the perfect solution for that while Washington drags this game out. We have Jared Bednar's pre-game morning skate conversation. So let's see what Bedsy had to say.
Turn it up. You ready? All right. Blackhawks, a real young team you're playing here tonight. What do you expect from them?
They're going to work hard, and they can be a dynamic group too. They've added some young skill into their lineup. They're all trying to showcase themselves from the coaching staff or management. I know they've had their struggles, but obviously they're a talented team, young team, so they're going to make their fair share of mistakes, but they also can be dangerous on the other side of things. And really tonight for us, it's about our game and getting back to playing a full 60 minutes and playing the right way and sort of honing in on the details and habits of our game to get ready for the playoffs.
Can you run back tonight?
He is.
How good is that to have him back after 3 games?
It's nice to have him back. He's had a really good season for us. There's a lot of different things for us when it comes to 5-on-5 play, special teams. He's a really good forechecker. He's not afraid to skate with the puck and make plays. I feel like that line was really good when he was with them and just average without him. So adding him back in hopefully sparks that line again to help us produce and sustain momentum when we get it.
Blackwood.
It's going to be Wedgwood.
He's okay after.
He is, yeah. He's going to go again tonight. Gives us a nice little window to get some work done with Blackwood and playing the back-to-back, so he'll go tomorrow.
Any other changes?
Gerard is out of the lineup, so Middleton and Eric Johnson will both be in.
I don't know how heavy the pre-scouts are this time of year anyway, but is it challenging to prepare for a team with guys that have played one game, maybe 2 games?
Yeah, we don't know a lot about some of those guys, but they're going to continue to, like, our pre-scout is based a little bit more on, like, the structure that they're going to play with and how we want to try to solve the structure to create enough offense and what to look for on the defensive side of things. And I think the players pick up on the nuances of individual players as the season goes on, and so that'll be different. They'll see some of these guys for the first time, but I don't think that's doesn't really change what you're trying to do on the defensive side of things a lot of times.
Martin Netchis for you guys, 25 points in 26 games, if I see correctly.
Yeah.
I mean, why has it worked so well? Why did he just seamlessly seem that he seamlessly fit in?
Well, talented player. I think our game stylistically fits the way he likes to play and wants to play. And I also think he had stretches like that in Carolina too. Like, this is a player coming into his own and maturing into, an elite player in the league, and obviously has gained a lot of confidence over the years. He's learned to play the right way in Carolina, and I think it's a good fit with some of our personnel, the way we like to play, and he's excited to be here, so that always helps. All right. Thank you.
All right. So, Bedsy, a pretty straightforward one this morning. I don't think there's anything too complicated besides weird goalie stuff. Anyway, let's get into our predictions for tonight. Give me the crystal ball, buddy.
I do believe the Avs take care of business. I do believe the Avs come out on top. I'm going to go 5-2, good guys. I'm sticking to them. I'm sticking to my terrier, Charlie Coyle, coming out of it.
Okay.
Playing good, just not scoring. I guess, like I told you guys, old Yeller back then. You can still be impactful in the lineup when you're not getting that cookie ice, you know what I mean, and your different assignments, and make the Avs a little bit better that way. But I'm going to stick with Charlie. He's not getting 1, he's getting 2. Charlie Coyle.
I'm down. I would love to see that third line get going. I'm going more aggressive. I'm going 7-1. We're seeing a Brazil tonight. And I am taking Val Nichushkin, who I think has played great, but has not gotten the puck to go the last couple of games. So both picking guys to pick one up tonight, maybe. And I'm picking a whole lot more than that, though, too, to be fair. To get to 7-1, you have to go pretty ham, which we can check out with my pregame picks, brought to you by Bet365, where things are never ordinary. You can jump in with me if you're crazy. There's probably better bets to take than mine, but I took the Nichushkin first goal. I also took the Avs to win by at least 5, and I also figured Cale Makar will pop off tonight. 4 points for Cale at plus 1,400. Why not? Let's see him break 30 and add on some assists to that too. Had some fun with this one. I do just think the Avs play to the way they should. This should be a pretty runaway win for them against Chicago, so I went with some fun bets all the way around. It's a little bit of fun. We did have one super chat here from Irish with the big $20 who said, "Love Eric's Kivy hype. Let's effing go." Always about
Kivy.
It can never doubt Kivy the cat. All right.
The cat. Meow.
Obviously you have to go play the game. You have to go be successful. But again, if the Avs come out and play lazy, I think you start to get a little bit frustrated, right? When you have a couple of games like that in a row, you talked about it, you do not want to form those bad habits. You want to play the right way.
Yep. And I think you see those bad habits develop a little bit over the past couple of games, and then all of a sudden you want to nip it in the butt right away. You know what I mean? Like right away. And you want to get back on track, and it takes 100% buy-in from everybody. Compare them to the Hawks tonight, for example. You're going to see the Hawks a little loose and bad habits. There's a reason you're not good in the standings. There's always a reason. Yep. It's not just because you're young, and it's because your habits aren't there. You're not clean. You know what I mean? You hear coaches say that all the time. We played a clean game. Take advantage of that tonight. Take advantage of their details being lacking a bit, and you want to make sure your detail, because you can control that. It's a choice you make. I always say that. It's like your attitude and how hard you work. You know, your details of the game. It's a choice. It's not. It's not complicated. It's not like chemistry. It's just you do it or you don't. So you don't need to be that smart. You know. So
well, hopefully this Washington game does end and we can get the puck drop. Should be right around the corner. I know, but they might just drop the puck anyway. So we are going to wrap this up. If you're looking for the game locally, it's on Altitude 2. Otherwise, it's national TNT or True TV if this game doesn't end. Also, HBO Max. So plenty of ways to watch tonight. We are done here. This has been the DNVR Avalanche pregame show. We appreciate you watching. We'll see you in the watch along in a few minutes.
We all silly like the mayor.
I'll try to get it on here.